Hi everyone, welcome. Einat Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to make a mixed media canvas scrapbook layout. So it's really fun to work on a canvas fabric instead of paper, and you can make really fun layouts for your scrapbook this way. So I cut my fabric to 12 by 12 size, and now I cut a little slit inside the fabric, and I'm just going to fray it a little bit so I'll have the fun texture of these little strings coming out, little threads coming out. It's a fun way to add texture. I'm just cutting out some more slits and fraying them a little bit more, and then I'm just cutting the frayed thread with some scissors so it won't be in the way. So this really adds a lot of texture and makes your page looks really interesting. So you just fray your canvas as much as you want. You can leave these threads if you want, if they don't interfere. And I'm also going to do the exact same thing on the edges, just a little bit, because I don't want to reduce the size of my page too much. So just a little bit here and there. Just to make it a little bit more interesting, like that. Now the first thing I want to do on this page is to add color. Now since we're working on fabric, of course everything I do you can do with some more pieces of fabric and sew them, but I don't like sewing so much. And I'm going to add colors with spraying the fabric. Sprays work really well on fabric, it absorbs them, and then you'll get really vibrant colors, especially if you work on a white or light colored fabric like this canvas. You can also add acrylic paints, that will work really well. You can add spray inks, and you can even use markers on a canvas, so you have lots of options to add color. Don't forget, if it curls a little bit, we're going to dry everything, and then you can always put it under something heavy and it will straighten out really easy. Another technique, that mixed media technique that you can do on fabric, like you can do on paper, is add modeling paste. So I'm using a stencil to add some modeling paste, some circles onto the fabric. Basically almost anything you can do on paper you can do on fabric. So that is really cool, but in the end you get a really nice and unique looking page because it's not on paper, it's on canvas. And of course everything you can also do on a framed canvas and make it into a wall hanging or a piece of art to hang on your wall and not put inside a scrapbook. So I really like how these circles look. Want to add, after of course it's dry, I'm going to use distress inks. Yes, you can use distress inks on canvas. Like I said, anything you can do on paper you can do on a canvas. So I'm just using another stencil. I'm going to use a pattern of these stars to add them to the background. So it looks really cool. Also going to add a little bit of ink on top of the modeling paste. And then let's add some stars on the other side as well. So basically this mixed media page has some techniques that you can use on paper, but we're doing it on a canvas, so that's really exciting. I'm going to grab another color of distress ink and use some more circle patterns. So I'm basically building layers of patterns on my page, adding a little bit of that green distress ink on the raised modeling paste pattern that I have here. And since this is a scrapbook page that I'm going to add photos, of course you can skip this part if you just want to make a piece of art and not a scrapbook page. And I'm going to add some more embellishments around my photos, and I'm using papers, lace. Again, anything you add to paper you can add to fabric or canvas. I've torn a few pieces of paper that I'm going to add around my photo, just to make it a little bit more colorful and a little bit more interesting, and give my photos sort of a frame. This is a matter of design. You can add any type of frame that you want. You can mat your photos if you want to instead. Add some mesh for extra texture. You can pull out whatever you have in your stash and add it to the scrapbook page and keep adding whatever you want until you're happy with the design. I'm going to add little corners, chipboard corners, but I'm not going to put them in the corner. And a little bit more paper. The more layers you add, the more interesting your page will look, of course. And again, anything you put on paper, add to the paper, you can add to your canvas or your fabric page. Just creating more layers under my photos. Want to add another shape. Until now it was all squares and rectangles and straight lines. So now we just want to add a circle to break that straightness, so to speak. Some buttons. I'm going to add some flowers as well. Just to make it a little more interesting. Use the little threads that I frayed from the canvas, add them as well. Some seashells, because these are photos on the beach, so it makes sense to add those as well. Some stars. We do have a pattern of stars on the canvas itself. Remember, we used the stencils to add that. And finally, I also want to add some text, a title to my page. I'm going to do that as well. I'm just going to use stickers, I think, to add my title. Just a few more stars. I'm going to use white letter stickers to add my title, and then I'm just going to ink them slightly to add another color so they won't be so white. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video so you won't miss anything, and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. I really hope that you will give a mixed media a chance. It's not as intimidating as you might think. Making a mixed media layout for your scrapbook is easier than you think. Just mix a few mediums and materials and layers and you're there. So thank you very much for joining me. I really hope you like this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.